Welcome to the second episode of The Lion's Den. I'm your host, Abstract Lion. I decided to shoot outside today because I'm on 4 grams of psilocybin mushrooms right now. We're about 30 minutes in. Let's see what happens.
The world has just begun.
Yeah, editing this is going to be a pain in the ass for sure. So I've decided to not go with the cue cards because I kind of just want to see what cosmic introspection comes to mind while I'm embracing this journey with my viewers. So far pretty good. It's a beautiful day out. And I feel great. I have autofocus off because why the hell not? I like those blurry shots. Like, if it's not an overbearing amount of blur, that's okay. I'll tolerate it. Keep going forth wherever this path leads us. There's like some construction going on in the distance. I mean, like, that's not going to be detrimental to the film, but shit, like, come on, people. I'm trying to enjoy my mushroom nature. I got a lot of words in my mind, so sometimes they don't all come out correctly because I have so much words processing at once. You guys are just gonna hear a bunch of fucking leaves crunching beneath my feet. That's gonna be the entirety of the video. That pathway we were on just loops us right back to this little field right here. And I continue to go eastward. It'll just lead us to a road, and I don't really want to be on the road. I like this little isolating, fast environment that we're in. Don't have my cue cards with me today. I was thinking I'll just kind of pull them from the astrals. So my first cue card that I pull is religion and God. And what do I see as God, and how do I perceive what God is? So, God to me is everything. Every mechanic, every idea, every thought, every concept, every color, all the light spectrums, everything. And I would consider myself a bit of a spiritualist, but I'm a devotee of the Grand President Marbas, which I have kind of been talking about for the past 7 years on Instagram and in my circles and whatnot. But I think people falsely perceive what Marbas is, because he's like an element of God, and he's a little portion of God, and I've chose that portion because he suits me best. And I'm ruled by Mercury. I'm a Virgo. Just a coincidence. I really didn't know that until a little bit later on, but we've just grown a beautiful bond. And I know he's a demon, but he feels more like an angel. And I think many others could agree to have worked with him. It's pretty cool. Alright, we're on the road now. Uh-oh. People. That's alright. Hopefully no one will get pissed off that I'm like filming in their vicinity. I don't want to get anybody on camera over here. I've probably been recording for a good 30 minutes already, and I am completely engulfed in psilocybin juice. This is kind of weird. Like, this trail is like partially nature-like, and it's also like residential. So we're kind of like impeding on people's property, like their privacy. A little bit, just a tad. Not necessarily like 100 yard, but you know how people are. Alright. The second topic card that I pull from the astrals is the state of the world. And I guess this kind of reiterates what I was trying to do with the world peace card on my last episode. I feel like we as people have kind of digressed, but there's also like other things that kind of combat that. Like, we have progressions. Like, people are becoming more acclimated with their creative side, but there's also a lot of animosity and chaos and destruction and hate. And I feel like love is such an obscure thing now, and it shouldn't be that way. People should just be able to love each other and get along, and if we disagree on something, just leave it at that, right? Instead of like killing people and hurting them. But you know, yin and yang, I guess we always need both opposites of the spectrum, right? I like this field a lot. I used to come here a lot when I was in my early adolescence. So when I was like a teenager and stuff. And I'd come here with my friends, and we'd just gather around and do God knows what. Just hang out. It is currently autumn, and we are approaching Scorpio season. Shout outs to Scorpios. Speaking of astrology, which will be our third topic card, I want to say that I adore Scorpios, and I adore some Tauruses. Scorpios are very intellectual people most often, and they have a great understanding of things, as Virgos do, in a logical sense. I'd say their logic tends to emotions, but you know, they rock that shit. They have a great understanding of how the mind works and how psyche works. It's nice to sit down for a little bit. I feel like I was like kind of over pushing my engine a little bit right there. Alright, I guess that concludes our episode today. So, if you enjoyed the second episode of The Lion's Den, subscribe and share this around. Whatever you choose. No obligations. I was filming this with like a $5 AliExpress tripod. That's why the video is so shaky. So